You are live, and I'm having difficulty today trying to change my screen. Um, it won't let me change my screen today, and so you're going to see Kingdom. You're going to see my 1 minute prayer movement all day. So let's keep this in mind. I am doing Kingdom fundraisers, and I don't get it. I don't know what's going on with my computer. Stuff happens, and I guess it's the way it is. I just left a Zoom on the Microsoft platform, and so I'm not sure what's going on. I'm not leaving the studio. I'm just trying to make the adjustments I need to make. So if interesting, y'all, things happen, you know, I cannot believe it won't change. It literally won't change. It won't even go to plain to blur. So it is, guess what? It is what it is. And we're going to just move with the flow. Mark, you ever seen that happen before? Where it would allow you to make changes? I'm looking at everything here on my screen. Recording is there. Um, my chat is there. The people is there. Notes is there. Widgets is there. Style. It won't change. Hello. Uh-oh. It's trying to get me to do. What did it do? There it is. I'm back. Woo. I don't know. Never seen that happen. Never saw that happen before. So it's okay, y'all. Y'all forgive me. Um, it's one of them days. That's all I can say. Oh, and guess what? It says Kingdom Fundraisers. Now, how I did that? Hey, I'm back. That's what live does for you. Mark, that's what live does for you. So video and audio are doing fine. I'm glad to hear that because it was a mess for a minute. TGIFF, thank God, it's Fundraising Friday. Are you guys with me today? I'm excited about this. I got you. I want you to know I'm excited about this. I'm enjoying every minute of this. Um, I have some good people here. I'm sending to, what's this, on my Facebook page. There you go. I need them to see if they can do that. But anyway, I'm back with you. I'm sorry about all of this today. I really am. I promise. I apologize. I was 5 minutes late because I was on live with an individual on the Microsoft video page, and wonderful client, and it's great. I've been very busy. Did I say very busy? We did this week alone. We submitted on Monday or Tuesday. We submitted a grant to Samsung. We submitted 3 grants for this organization that I was on with, Fundacious Millennium in Lorain, Ohio. We submitted 3 for them on the 15th. All 3, yes, we got all 3 done and submitted on the 15th. Looking at a few more on the 27th. Actually, I got a report for 4 or 5 funding opportunities that due on the 27th. These are all federal grants. Another one on the 29th of this month. Not that I'm, saying that, but I'm letting you all know there's money out there. That's what I'm really trying to say. Grants are opening up. Organizations, funding for organizations are there. And yes, don't forget to share this message and tag a nonprofit that needs this, that needs some funding, that needs some information. because today I'm specifically going to talk about the 5 uh, building blocks of becoming fundable. I, in my conversations with my students and clients, many of you all know I coach for Kingdom Builders Academy. I have approximately 15 students that I coach, and at least half of them I speak to weekly. And in doing that, everybody, um, we have a conversation about how to build your business. In this case, those that I'm working with in the nonprofit arena. Like I mentioned, the organization that I was with this morning, and there's listen, 3 in Chicago, 1 in South Springfield, Illinois, 1 in Texas, 1 in Washington State. This one is in Ohio. There's actually 2 in Ohio. And then there are 2 right here in Palm Bay, Florida, that I'm working closely with. These organizations are looking for ways to raise money. And I'm talking to people on a regular basis about fundraising, not just grant writing. Because like right now, it's a great grant writing season. But when that grant writing season stops, what do you do? Or when the money runs out, what do you do? You need to become fundable. And as I'm sharing with a young lady last night, 8 o'clock, one of the clients in Chicago, bringing on somebody else to help them in an advisory capacity. We're having a conversation about fundability. And the term fundability coach has been brought out on more than one occasions on my behalf, because I am a fundability coach. What do you mean by fundability coach? I'm glad you asked. My role with you is more in tune to help you become fundable, not to just get grants and run. Becoming fundable allows you to look for how your organization is prepared and ready to receive grants. And then once you get it, to operate properly, to respond to those grants, to be accountable to the funders that give you the dollars that they said that they would give you, but also that you said you would use to do the work that you believe God has called you to do. And so today I want to take a look at that. I want to talk about the 5 building blocks of becoming fundable. And it's based off my fundability framework. Mark and I have put together this framework. Many of you all know we were looking to do a webinar. And because my schedule, and I'm grateful, it's a blessing to have a schedule that's so good that you don't have time to do the webinar. Building my team now is so that I can do some of this stuff for you all. But I'm doing it for you every Friday. Every single Friday, I'm on here giving you tools that you can use on Monday. Y'all didn't hear me. I'm here every week specifically to give you the tools you need to become fundable on Monday. You can go to work with the stuff that you learn here on Fundraising Fridays. All right. And so this is the process that I use, as I said, to help nonprofit leaders move from startup to sustainability and from vision to investment ready. Did you hear that? From vision to investment ready. Our goal is to help you build partnership with funders so that you can have a consistent cash flow. All right. And so when we look at being fundable, and we talk about these uh, these five blocks, these building blocks. The first one I want to share with you is the vision, right? Let me ask the question, can you clearly explain why you exist, or what problem you solve, or who you serve, or what success looks like? What do you want to, if I said to you, well, I'm going to give you $10,000, $50,000, $100,000, but what are you going to do with it? What does it look like? What happens at the end of the program? Huh? Because so often a lot of people are not really sure what it looks like. And so you need to ask yourself the question. The first building block that we work with here is vision. Can you clearly explain why you exist, what problem you solve, who you serve, and what success looks like? At the end of your program, summer program, at the end of your after school program, at the end of your mental health program, at the end of your food program, When you're done, what results do you have? The other question is, what is the impact that was made? You served 100 people, huh? That's good. That's it. No clear vision, no investment. That's the bottom line. Funders want to invest into something that makes sense to them. I was sharing with the client a few minutes ago a secret sauce that I use, and I know I'm not going to give it to you because it wouldn't be a secret no more. But there's a formula that I use when I'm fundraising with you, especially when I'm writing a grant for you or a letter of inquiry or something to help a funder get to know you. And the goal is in doing that is to have a clear vision so that you know what you're looking for and the funder understands what you're doing. That makes sense. So that's what we do. Number one. The second one, uh, structure. Build the organization. What is structure? Well, to when you build your organization, and remember this, I do a lot of organization development, a lot of. And matter of fact, if you're new with me, the first 90 days, we're going to make sure we do organizational development. That's the first part of the work that I do. I spend 90 days. And preferably, if you're already up and running, maybe you can only need 30. And then we can go into what your next phase, because we do things in phases. And the first phase of my fundability framework is organizational development. So the structure. Do you have a board? Who is your board? What does the leadership look like? Do you have a good financial system? Are your policies, are they in compliance to what state, federal um, laws are? And then your accountability. Do you have these things? Do you have these things? Board leadership. Is your board just on paper? If it's just a couple of y'all agreeing just to be in agree, but do you have a strong board? First off, guess what? You need a board to help you fundraise. You don't need to do it all yourself. In contracting with me and my organization, yes, we can help you, but I need help too. And if you have people out there and you're on your board, if you haven't built your board yet, now is a good time to begin building your board. We do have a board development pack for you to show you and help you do it. We do board development training for you. We just completed one earlier this year. We're doing one with a nonprofit that I work with at my church here in August. And so board development is important for the board to come on board and know what your vision is, to share with them what you're doing, and to help them understand the path that God has called you to take. Financial system. You want your board to even be able to understand that. You need a key person on your staff that's connected to you in the bank or the accountant, a bookkeeper. Do you have those things in place? Do you have policies and procedures? Do your employees know what they're supposed to do, when they're supposed to do it, and the way you expect them to do it? And if it's not clear, you get confusion, y'all. If it's not clear, you get confusion. And so remember, investors invest in organizations, not in chaos. That's why it's important to have key structure. Let's look at the third one. All right. The third one is programs. Clearly define who you, I'm sorry, clearly define what you do, how you do it, and the measurable outcomes you expect. You're going to serve 50 youth, and at the end of your 90 days with them, or your summer program with them, or your after school program, and you're bringing in 50 youth. What is the outcome that you expect at the end of that 9 months with them kids in your youth, in your after school program, STEM program, job development program? What is the result? What is the outcome that you want to achieve? And it needs to be clear, huh? It needs to be clear. Why? Because people invest in results, not just ideas, huh? So clearly define what you do, how you do it, and the measurable outcomes that you expect from it, because people invest in results, not just ideas. Okay. If you can do that, scripture tells us, write the vision and make it plain. Why? So that they that read it can run with it. And that includes you. You need to be able to come back and review what you've written, what your vision is, and be able to articulate it both verbally and in writing. Come on, somebody. That's just the way it goes. Now, number 4, sustainability. We talk often about going from startup to sustainability. One of the things that we have always positioned our program to be able to do, position our framework to help you go from startup to sustainability. And we talk about showing how the mission will continue beyond a single grant. Funders even want to know that. Well, if we fund you for 3 years, what happens after that? Does your organization close, or do you have a plan to continue? And part of what we do at WePete Inc., and we're working with you, we create a long-term plan, 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, and beyond. Let me repeat that. What we try to do with you is create a 1 year, a 3 year, 5 year, and beyond. Sustain so that you're sustainable. You're able to show a funder, well, we're looking for funding here. We're raising funding here. We partner with this organization and we partner with that. And again, one of the things that we try to do with you all is make sure with people, and again, these tools you can use start next week. You can actually start today. Think about it. If you're working with a funder and they become your partner or investor, most people invest long term because they see what you're doing. You have results. And if you're new, you need to articulate it in a way to say with them, listen, if you partner with me, here's what we're going to do. And it can't just be in favor of you. It needs to be in favor of the people you serve and the person that you're partnering with. Everybody should have a stake in what you do. Are you with me? Huh? And so show how the mission will continue beyond a single grant. Shift the mindset from finding one-time funders to developing investors and long-term partners who believe in the vision. Write the vision, make it plain, so that they that read it can do what? Run with it. And that includes you, right? The fifth and final one, the building block. And I give these tools. I have 5 tools, 5 steps of fundraising, how to make fundraising simple. I have steps to do that. But this is my fundraising feasibility package. This is our framework. This is the way we shape what you're doing and how to get you from startup to sustainability. Number 5 is a funding strategy. Only after the first 4 building blocks are in place do you pursue grants. If you don't have these first 5, this 5th one is not going to work sufficiently for you. So building your blocks, you want to make sure you have these things in place. And so remember, do you have them? The first 4 building blocks are in place so you can pursue grants, so you can have donors, so you can have investors, corporate partners, and government opportunities. That's why you want them in place, right? Funding strategy only after the first 4 blocks are in place. So it should be so you pursue grants, so you can pursue grants, donors, investors. I have typos too. When we type them fast, I give it to you wrong. But that's the point. You want to have things in place. You want to have it right. See, part of my 5 R's to successful fundraising, one of those R's is review. First one is research. You're researching funders and who they give money to and why they give money to. What if they're giving money for? Because remember, funders give money for their cause. And if you're looking at the right funder, your cause should match their cause. And now we have something in common for us to seek funding for. And now I can talk to you about how we can work together. So here, watch this. The big reveal is nothing new, but it's the big reveal. People ask me why I call myself a fundability coach, and here's what it is. Again, not just chasing money, y'all. We want to make sure you become fundable. So I do not start with fundraising. I start with capacity building. That's the main goal, and I share this with most people now because capacity building creates fundability. Fundability attracts investments. Investments create partnerships, and partnerships produce sustainability. It really, I say it's as simple as that, but that's the reality, huh? Y'all with me today? Have I said something that may help generate some income for you, that may help turn some things around to help you get into what you need to do? And so imagine the 6 stepping stones. Right? Watch this. You cannot jump from vision to funding. You have to cross each step in order. So let me give you these steps again that I'm giving you. I'm added to them a little bit, but this is really important. Stepping stones to your success. Vision to capacity building. Capacity building to fundability. Fundability to investments. Investments to partnerships. And guess what? All of that equals sustainability. So most organizations start by looking for funding. We start by building capacity. And that's the difference between chasing grants and becoming fundable. So I want you to continue to join me every week. I'm going to ask a crazy question. How do you all feel about let's start doing some of these in the Zoom? Thanks, Mark, for posting that up for me. Thank you. Vision, capacity, fundraising, fundability, investments, partnerships. Huh? Thank you for doing that. Because most organizations start looking for funding. We start by building capacity, and the difference between choosing grants and becoming fundable, those are the differences. Those 7 steps Mark just placed here, these 6, I'm sorry, that's the process of getting you from startup to sustainability. And we do that every week. I want to begin once a month doing a Zoom live instead of trying to do a 3-day webinar and and cram you every week. I want to set it up every month, praying about it. I want to have Mark give me the advice that him and Miss Doris and let's go live on Zoom once a month. Let's do it where you can come on board. We can have your input, your questions. I'll do the teaching and training. Make fundraising Friday fun. How about that? Let me know. Send me a mark. Send me some comments or DM me, even if you're watching this later, because I realize that a lot of people watch my 12 noon fundraising program podcast later on because they're either at lunch or they're working and they're doing things like that. So Mark says that sounds like a good plan to do something live once a month, similar to a webinar. And I want to make sure we also do it at a good time because I realize a lot of people can't they don't join me live at noon, but I get a lot of feedback later on. Well, if you say we need to do it at 11 a.m. or 7 p.m., something like that, I'm willing to adjust. And I know Mark has made it known to me. Like today, we were planning to move to 1 o'clock, and that was going to be late for Mark, but he's still joining me. And I talk about Mark, he's my co-partner in this. He's my business partner, virtual assistant. He makes sure we get stuff done, and it looks great, and it sounds great. Him and his wonderful wife. So I'm praying about that, and I'm asking you to pray. Join me in prayer and give me your input about Kingdom Fundraisers live, but really live. We'll do it as a Zoom, and you join me on the Zoom live once a month. I want to know because August is coming close, so we'll need to set a date in August. Thanks for joining me for another edition of Kingdom Fundraisers Live. I am Pastor WIllie, your Fundability coach. I look forward to seeing you this time next week. Pray for me because I'm praying for you. See you soon.